Silay is sometimes called the Paris of Negros. It was a cultural and commercial hub in the region. The town was founded in the late 1700s and grew in prominence mainly thanks to migrant families from Iloilo who cultivated the land and made it prosper. Today, it's one of the most beautiful historic towns we have left. With more than 30 maintained heritage homes and flanked by forests and farmlands, it's an idyllic place to spend a few days. And the cherry on top, it probably has some of the best food in the region. In this episode, I will be walking around these quiet streets and consuming everything from some local kakanins, a famous Guapple Pie.
It's just so easy to eat.
The best piaya I've ever had.
Namin good, yeah.
A delicate fresh lumpia.
Wow.
And much, much more.
So to be honest, I haven't really spent much time in Bacolod before. We did one video where we literally flew in just for one day to try to find the best chicken in asado, and that was a really cool video. So this time we wanted to kind of explore more the local culture, the local culinary scenes. But today we're in Silay. So most people, obviously, you land at the Bacolod Silay airport. Most people kind of spend most of the time in Bacolod, and that's where a lot of the restaurants that are really popular are. But we decided to do a Silay eating tour. And we're starting off here at Kapeta. I mean, it's really fresh, people are running. It just feels like a really good vibe. The guy's playing some jazz music, selling coffee off of his little bicycle, some Arabica, some Robusta, which is actually really tasty. He grinds it fresh, so you can tell there's a lot of care. Sadly, the barista is making coffee here. It's his last day, but someone else will be taking over. So if you are here early, it is a really cool place to kind of just get a feel for the city. So we have a lot of food to eat today, and I'm already developing a little hunger, but we're starting at the Silay Public Market for some kakanin. Ano yung mga local kakanin? Yung mga taga Silay?
Baye-baye, made in Malagkit.
Baye-baye?
O, kalamay hati, made in Malagkit. Kahit wala dito sa akin, sa iba marami sila. Kasi sa iba kami.
Iba? Okay, okay.
Meron ako dito, wala dito. Meron sa ilang.
Okay. Salamat po. Hi po. Morning. I'll get. Yes. Sorry. I'll get this one spring onion like this. Yeah. I'm gonna start with the fresh lumpia because I like to start with savory foods. These are the ones from Sinda Belleza. There's such a thing about fresh ubod that just makes me so happy. And it's a nice compact bite. It's not too huge. And she's been selling here in the market for a long, long time. That's really nice. That's kind of like a nice palate opener after our coffee. And honestly, the space is super airy. Like, you have the craziness of the market on the other side, and people do come here in the morning for breakfast. I believe this is baye-baye, and this one here is a cassava. This is really nice in terms of texture. Cassava, not too sweet. Next, let's try this one. Thicker, starchier, kind of like your perfect snack to go with your coffee in the morning. Next, we have our everything made in banana leaf. So it's like a conical suman. They have a different term for it. I mean, I haven't had suman in a long, long time, but honestly, when you eat it, it's kind of like a flashback into your childhood most of the time. Texturally, that one's really nice. Nice and sweet as well. And this one just looks so sticky. I mean, oh no. Really delicious.
You rarely find this much space in a public market to sit in and eat, which makes it quite unique. I can really see it as a meeting place for a quick breakfast or a snack with a nice cup of coffee. Everyone I talked to before coming to Silay told me that I had to try the Guapple Pie at Rizal.
El Ideal got its name from the ideal. It was named by my great-grandfather, Cesar Lacson. El Ideal started opening its door in the 1920s as a bakery lang. And then eventually, my grandmother expanded the business into bakery and refreshment parlor. So until now, we just continue what they have started. So, ang Guapple Pie naman was born in the 1980s during the sugar crisis. Farmers would resort to other crops, and one of them is guavas. Since hindi siya masyadong mabenta sa market, my grandmother thought of something na gagamitan niya ng guava. Ang Guapple Pie, we started slicing the guavas into smaller bits. Lagyan natin ng cinnamon and sugar, and then timplahin lang, and then lagyan natin to ng crust. The taste is somehow unique because the guava, being a tropical fruit, has its own distinct flavor also.
This recipe showcases a great story of localization. We all know that we don't grow apples in the Philippines, so it makes sense to find something that is similar in texture to fill that void. Though a guapple, an improved version of a guava, is tasty in its own right. Its flesh is crunchy and it's much juicier than its counterpart. It also helps that it's a non-seasonal and ever-bearing tree.
Being featured by the great Doreen Fernandez is overwhelming actually. She is an institution, especially the food scene here in the Philippines. It's somehow special because these are heirloom recipes. Until now, it hasn't changed. We have to strictly keep the family tradition by keeping the recipes alive.
So I'm actually really excited to try this, simply because I'm a huge Doreen Fernandez fan.
Yeah.
And I remember reading her book, I think it was Tikim,
Yeah,
Essays
Tikim,
on
Tikim.
Filipino food.
Yes.
And she had a whole section about Silay. So that's why I'm super excited, because she really talked about the Guapple Pie, correct?
Yes. This is the Guapple Pie. It's the masterpiece of my grandmother, Alice Lacson Villanueva.
And she just came up with the recipe.
Yes.
So what are we looking for? So like a more crunchy texture.
Yes. More crunchy texture. Sweet.
It has that guava powdery texture, which is really important, obviously, also. I've always been fascinated by family businesses that have lasted so long.
We take it that this establishment is a legacy of our great-grandfather and, of course, the passion. Dining here brings back memories not just within us, but our customers also.
I love how there are businesses that are doing really well in kind of these old heritage buildings.
Silay has this harmonious relationship with the present and the past.
I like that.
Yes.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I've already finished the pie. It's just so easy to eat because it's very light in terms of texture. The crust has a bit of crunch to it, but it gives really well.
Just across the street, another family heirloom story awaits. The ancestral home of the Montelibanos Lacson sisters, Soledad and Maria, feels like a secret that is standing right in front of you.
So another ancestral house, and I was told to just go into the compound, and apparently there's some really good empanadas here. It's a little weird. I feel like I'm breaking in.
Built in the 1900s, it is where you'll find the best empanada de calisquis, lumpia, and pili squares that the city has to offer.
Hanapin mo kung saan siya naka-pwesto yung bahay ni Emma Lacson. But there's no name because it's a mystery. My great-grandmother started this business since 1925. Her daughter took over. My grandmother was the one who made the pili recipe. After my grandmother, my mother, and then me. Ngayon, recipe namin na bestseller is the empanada. The pisang product namin, also a bestseller, is the pili square. It's made of pili nuts, just pili nuts, and syrup. Inalagaan, because that's already a heritage.
This is probably one of the most unique dining experiences you could have in the Philippines. You feel like a thief entering in a dark tunnel, like you're about to burglar someone's heritage house, which is a beautiful structure. Then you kind of have like the second floor where people actually live, and upstairs there's this little secret kitchen that is just so dramatic and beautiful to kind of be in. Pili squares. This kind of looks to me like a food for the god, but I'm all about pili, and oh my god, that texture is just doughy, gluey. That is just so moist, buttery. Almost like an undertone of dates, even though there's no dates in there. But just the perfect combination of chew, you get some of the nuttiness, you get a hint of sweetness. We have their famous empanadas. These empanadas are also something to behold. Crunchy, flaky, sweetness in the onions. Wow, amazing. This is like masterly done. And alas, they also make lumpia, more lumpia. Can we say a note of appreciation for all the lumpias in Silay? This is the perfect size. Look at that. This is a lumpia. Wow. You don't need sauce. That's why they didn't give us sauce. The sauce is inside. And the fact that it stays all together, awesome. 2, I'm gonna steal this recipe. Everyone should start making lumpia but this way. Probably one of the best I've had.
Aside from heritage eats, we were also on the hunt for some solid carinderia eats, and we found a popular local eatery that has fresh and well-cooked dishes on offer.
Truth be told, I am no longer hungry. It's official. But we came here with a plan, and the plan was to come to Sir Maam, and we were told that the Embutido and the lechon kawali were amazing, and so that's what we ordered, but we also saw this really kind of crab cake. They were excited to see us here, so they served us some diniguan as well as their laing. Let us start with the lechon kawali. Look at that. That's really good. Let's try the meat. Wow, super moist. This is like a beautiful crab cake. When asked what it is, they called it a torta, so an omelet. Wow. That's all crab. It's like no fillers. That's beautifully done. Not dry, perfectly moist, lots of crab meat. Next, and this is the one I'm really excited for, is the Embutido, just because it looks so, like, I love that color that's on there. This looks so well done. This is the especial because it has the egg inside. That's on the sweeter side, which I'm here for. You get the pieces of sausage that are in there, the ground pork. Diniguan. Now, I didn't order this, but they brought it. Not heavy on the soy, lemongrass, which is nice, and kind of like right up there. Beautiful balance of acidity. And then laing, definitely not from this area, but not like your Bicolano laing. This is very different. Like it's chunks versus kind of like very thinly cut leaves. Flavors are there, not the extremely rendered out oily laing that I'm used to eating from Bicol, but all in all, a really great dish.
Back to family recipes. Cafe 1925, owned by the Gaston family, offers some heirloom, staunchly locally sourced dishes in a beautifully maintained heritage home.
So Silay is such a small place, but all the food that we've had so far is really good.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's so much care being put into the food, or maybe it's a pride thing.
It's a pride thing
Yeah.
because everything is done in the house. It's all the recipes of the families and all. So like this one were the recipes of my mom and my grandmother. So it's like we're really proud to show it off.
So the heritage you see on the street is not just the houses,
Not
but
just
it's
the
also
houses, but the food.
recipes.
It's
Awesome.
really the food. Silay is really known for her food. So most of her ingredients are sourced locally. Especially me. I buy all my ingredients here in Silay.
Are you a Silay native?
Born and raised in this house.
Really?
Yeah. That's
Wow.
why my cafe is called 1925 because my house there is at the back was built in 1925.
Amazing. All right, so what do we have in front of us? We have KBL.
Yeah, this is KBL. This is a staple in Ilonggo food, in Silay as well. It's made from the langka and the kadyos. Kadyos is like a black-eyed pea, I think.
Correct, yeah.
And then instead of pata, it's usually with pata. I use pork belly.
Oh, yum.
So
Okay.
it's more friendly to the customers.
Yeah. And then this one
And
is...
then this is basoy, the soup. It's a soy ginger-based soup
Okay.
with pork strips and fried rice and dried fish. It's a breakfast menu.
Okay, so we'll start with breakfast then. This soup is really nice. It's very subtle, nice gingery.
And it really wakes you up. It's perfect for hangovers.
I can understand, yeah. And then how does the fish come into the equation?
It just goes well with it. This is breakfast. So dried fish equals breakfast.
True.
So it goes with this one and you dip it with the
The garlic and
vinegar,
vinegar.
garlic, and all. So it's like that.
Wow, this is good.
Thank you.
And what's the base of the broth?
It's just pork broth
And then the kadyos.
batuan. And then there's batuan also.
Ah, just batuan, okay.
Yeah, there.
Yeah, that's where that freshness and acidity comes from.
We don't
Very nice.
really use sampalok in Negros. It's always batuan.
So this is a mix, you said, of braso.
Sans Rizal. The wafer is from the Sans Rizal wafer and braso.
Amazing.
The Mercedes.
Like two of my favorite things.
And then I lessened the sugar just a little bit.
Wow, that is decadent. It almost feels like a marshmallow cream. It's so good.
Batuan bar.
Yeah.
So this is exactly what I was talking about a while ago. Like I love seeing produce
Innovation.
used in
Yeah.
in very different ways. That's amazing. I actually thought there was maybe like lemon and an added batuan. I've never had batuan taste like that. So like to me, I mean, on a map, it's tiny. How do you guys have everything and so much things in one place? It's incredible.
I mean, you know, there's more to Negros than just Bacolod. Silay, we're here. We're not just old houses.
Correct.
We're not just that.
Yet another secret little spot. I love how these places are hidden. It just kind of like builds the experience and the anticipation a bit more. So I heard they make a really good piaya.
Po si Marit, Nanay Marit ang tawag sa akin. 70 years old na po ako. Ito pong piyaya, galing po ito sa lula ng husband ko. Minana namin. Kasi noon, hirap kami sa buhay. Sabi ko, ano kaya mabuting gawin? Sabi ko, kaya na, gumawa nito. Kasi noon wala naman akong tao, isa lang, kami lang ng husband ko, ng anak ko, ang gumagawa. Ngayon, 5 na. Ito po si Rodilyn, matagal na po ito sa akin. Ito din si Norman. Ito si Wawi. Ganon din. At si Bonbon. Parang mga anak ko na rin po. Yan si Rick, yung anak ko, siya ang nagmamanis dito. Nanay tawag sa akin, lahat sila nanay. Parang mga anak ko, minsan pinapagalitan ko rin.
So super flaky.
Namit,
Namit good, yeah. Very good.
salamat.
Not too sweet. Yeah, super syrup.
Nuts to, yeah.
Super syrup.
To wrap up our tour, this was probably the most exciting stop for me. The late Reena Gamboa Fernandez has inspired a generation of local food writers, journalists, and foodies. If you consider yourself a lover of Filipino food, I highly recommend reading all of her books. In a time where most of us get our information online, never forget that there are experts who came well before us and paved the way.
This is very surreal for me because it's something your aunt's writing really inspired me to delve further into my heritage. And I loved her really approachable, funny, comedic kind of approach to food writing, which is in my mind still very fresh today. So being here is super cool. And a lot of the spots that we checked out today were through her recommendations and what she wrote about.
She is actually my godmother. My real name is also Doreen because of her. And I am the caretaker of this house because of her also. This house was built in 1939, and my grandparents, they decided to build this house, but the war came, so my grandfather had to bring his whole family to the farm, and then a Japanese colonel lived here. Then when the Americans came, it was lived in by around 3 generals, American generals, because this became their headquarters. And at one point, General MacArthur came to visit during his tour around the Philippines.
So Silay is a very particular place, I feel like. I never really read into it much. Obviously people go to Bacolod mostly, but you have this quaint little city with beautiful heritage facades and old houses, but in a way it also kind of represents like I feel like a deep pride that people here have, and such a strong connection to heritage dishes as well and the food that they grew up eating. And you yourself, you said you're part of the slow food movement, right?
Yes.
Why is food so central to everything that happens here?
I think we're lucky in a way that it goes also with the old houses. Many people here still live in their houses, in their the homes of their grandparents, and recipes have been passed on. Growing up, you know, all our neighbors had their own specialty food, which was very Silay noon. People still appreciate our food because I guess we live it, and we're so lucky that we can get our ingredients always fresh.
One of the main objectives for slow food is also to make sure that a lot of dishes or practices are not lost.
That's right.
Is that something in Negros, because it is a big agricultural industry here? Is that something where is there an issue where maybe things are not being continued, or are people kind of like maybe starting to focus on cash crops versus kind of like heritage heirloom products? And
I think it's more of we're just so proud of our dishes. Everybody's just so concerned about preserving what we have and appreciating what we have. So we're very proud of it, and I think we should continue to nourish it to be able to continue being proud of it.